5 minutes at one point. This was during her insane third quarter run. She gets the ball, drives down. Oh, that little stutter step, drive through the lane for the layup, that was filthy, to be honest with you. Absolutely filthy. Caitlin Clark also in the third. Right?
Caitlin Clark gathers the ball at the top of the key, hits her defender with a filthy stutter step hesitation, slices right through the heart of the Dallas defense, and finishes with a silky smooth finger roll off the glass. That breathtaking sequence was part of a blistering stretch where Caitlin Clark poured in 10 points in just 5 minutes, spearheading a massive second-half explosion to lead the Indiana Fever to a statement victory over Paige Bueckers and the Dallas Wings. Finishing with a monster stat line of 29 points, 10 assists, and only one single turnover in 34 minutes of action, Caitlin Clark put on an absolute MVP showcase that captivated the entire basketball world. While mainstream media commentators spent the week building up the head-to-head showdown between Clark and Bueckers, Clark completely stole the show on the court. In a tight, dead-even game that saw Dallas pushing Indiana to the brink, Clark erupted for 17 points in the third quarter alone, scoring 20 of her 29 points in the second half to blow the game wide open. As sports analysts break down the tape from Indianapolis, one undeniable truth has emerged. Not bad for a player media critics once absurdly ranked as the 11th best guard in the WNBA. When you analyze how this game unfolded, it was clear that Caitlin Clark was determined to set the tone from the opening tip to the final buzzer. In games of this magnitude, where national debate shows and social media algorithms obsess over player rivalries, the true greats let their game do the talking on the hardwood. Clark did not just score efficiently, she controlled the entire tempo of the contest, orchestrating Indiana's fast break and manipulating the Dallas defense with surgical precision. Recording 10 assists while committing only a single turnover against aggressive perimeter ball pressure is a masterclass in elite point guard play. Fans inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse were treated to a clinic of shot-making, passing vision, and leadership that cemented Clark's status as the definitive MVP frontrunner. When the spotlight burns brightest, generational superstars elevate their teammates and seize control of the game, creating memories that define an entire era of basketball. Her composure under intense media scrutiny continues to set the standard for modern professional sports, proving that historic talent rises above every distraction and elevates the entire sport.
Harris, by the way, hit some big threes tonight. 5 of 5 from three-point range. And Paige Bueckers knocked down 29 points tonight. And I told the chat, Ben Daniel Podcast TV chat, in the watch party, I was like, that's the quietest, 29 points that I've ever seen from maybe any player ever. Caitlin Clark, you knew Caitlin Clark was knocking it dead. Paige Bueckers, it was like, I never even noticed, to be honest with you.
To understand why Clark's performance sent such a loud message across the sports landscape, you have to examine the stark contrast in how Clark and Paige Bueckers accumulated their numbers. On the final box score, both superstars finished with 29 points, but anyone who watched the game live witnessed two completely different basketball realities. Sports commentator from Black and White Sports noted during the live watch party that Paige Bueckers' 29 points was quietly compiled in the flow of the game without ever altering Dallas's offensive trajectory or generating massive momentum swings. In stark contrast, Caitlin Clark electrified the entire arena, dictating every single possession, pulling up from deep downtown and commanding the floor like a true generational maestro. Through the first 2 quarters, the Dallas Wings gave the Indiana Fever everything they could handle, keeping the contest deadlocked in a grueling physical battle. But coming out of the halftime locker room, Caitlin Clark personally took the game by the throat. Scoring 17 of her points in that explosive third quarter, Clark outscored almost the entire Dallas roster by herself during that crucial stretch. When a superstar can drop 20 points in a single half while simultaneously creating 10 assists for her teammates, she transforms from an elite scorer into an unstoppable offensive engine. Bueckers had a solid individual outing, but Clark's ability to completely break a game open create scoring opportunities out of thin air, and bend opposing defenses to her will is what separates an all-star from a transcendent league MVP. The sheer gravity Clark commands forces opponents into impossible defensive choices on every trip down the floor, opening up massive passing lanes for everyone in an Indiana jersey. True greatness lies in elevating the entire roster when the game hangs in the balance, turning ordinary possessions into highlight reel baskets that demoralize opposing defenses.
He went out there. This is the, let me try to get this blown up. This was the Sophie rally right there. People that came out to support Sophie tonight in Indianapolis right there. And I wanted to make sure that I showed that. Now, to the thing that a lot of people are gonna find hard to believe, but I'm gonna be fair on this channel. I reached out to Johnny Root from Outkick at halftime, and I said, "What is the story with Stephanie White getting cheered?" Because
the energy inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse was heightened even further by the massive fan rally held in support of Sophie Cunningham. Following the national controversy surrounding Dejanai Carrington's flagrant foul and online attacks, thousands of passionate Fever fans arrived early, sporting customized gear and waving signs to show unconditional love for Cunningham. Cunningham responded to the hometown support with trademark poise, drilling a clutch three-pointer from deep downtown off a pinpoint transition pass from Caitlin Clark. The entire arena erupted as Cunningham celebrated with her teammates, proving that the bond between this roster and its fan base is stronger than ever. The Sophie rally proved once again that Indiana possesses the most dedicated and unified fan base in professional basketball. When outside critics and opposing players attempt to target Fever stars, the Indiana community rallies with unmatched loyalty and passion. In addition to Cunningham's perimeter spark, veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell managed to keep her impressive 20-point scoring streak alive late in the fourth quarter after Clark went to the bench, finishing with 23 points on the night. Meanwhile, Ty Harris delivered an absolute perimeter clinic off the bench, shooting a perfect 5 for 5 from three-point range to seal the victory. When Clark's supporting cast steps up and knocks down open looks created by her floor vision, Indiana becomes an unstoppable offensive juggernaut that can score from anywhere on the court. That complete team execution makes Indiana an absolute nightmare for opposing defensive coordinators to prepare for, giving the Fever dangerous balance as they head into the final stretch of the regular season. Unselfish play remains the cornerstone of Indiana's championship identity, allowing every player to shine within the offensive system and punish aggressive defensive coverages.
Was absolutely legitimate. He said they were not piping noise in there. He said, yeah, the fans cheered for Stephanie White. His theory was the message of support from Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark got the fans behind Stephanie White. It's Stephanie White.
One of the most intriguing storylines heading into the night was the atmosphere surrounding head coach Stephanie White following the viral booing incident earlier in the week. Independent sports reporter Johnny Root from Outkick was live on the scene inside the arena, confirming that, unlike the previous contest, the crowd gave legitimate, audible cheers for Stephanie White during pregame introductions. Root confirmed that the cheers were 100% authentic and not pumped-in arena noise, explaining that public statements of support from Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham helped calm tensions and rally the fan base behind the coaching staff. Commentators highlighted that when superstars like Clark and Cunningham publicly have their coaches back, it sends a powerful message of locker room solidarity that resonates with paying spectators. While fans were justified in demanding accountability for player safety, seeing the team unified on the floor helped refocus all energy on winning basketball games. Stephanie White benefited immensely from her players' leadership, as the locker room proved that their internal chemistry remains rock solid despite outside media storms. The positive atmosphere inside the arena provided the perfect backdrop for Indiana's dominant second-half surge, allowing the players to focus purely on executing their game plan on the court. Winning games with complete locker room alignment silences outside noise faster than any press conference explanation, restoring championship focus across the entire organization. When a team stands together in the face of controversy, it builds a resilient foundation for long-term success, transforming outside skepticism into internal motivation that fuels on-court excellence.
Knocked it down. Michaela Timpson, guys, this pass was absolutely sick from Michaela Timpson. Watch this. That's Aaliyah Boston coming down the lane. She's going to pass it to Timpson. Watch this little pass back. Quick pass back. It was filthy. It was filthy to Aaliyah Boston. And it was a good win. I'm not going to act like it wasn't. They're now 22-12.
The game also showcased exciting glimpses of Indiana's evolving frontcourt chemistry, particularly on a breathtaking sequence between Michaela Timpson and Aaliyah Boston. On a fast break set, Boston drove toward the lane, fed a quick pass to Timpson, who immediately executed a filthy, behind-the-back touch pass right back to Boston for an easy, uncontested layup. Highlights like that prove that when Indiana plays unselfish, fluid basketball, their offensive ceiling is unmatched. Boston finished with a strong double-double of 16 points and 10 rebounds, showing great resilience and interior presence throughout the second half. With this crucial victory, the Indiana Fever improved to 22-12 on the season, while the Dallas Wings dropped to 20-15, showing signs of fading in the standings. Analysts pointed out that Dallas was playing without key pieces like Azzi Fudd and Jessica Shepard, who functions as the Nikola Jokic of their offensive hub. However, finding ways to close out tough games against quality opponents is the hallmark of a true championship contender. Caitlin Clark's 29-point, 10-assist masterclass proved that whenever the game is on the line, she has the poise, skill, and competitive drive to carry Indiana to victory against any defensive scheme. Championship teams learn how to weather physical challenges and finish strong in crunch time, building the mental toughness required to hoist trophies in October. Delivering under pressure separates true contenders from pretenders, establishing a standard of excellence that defines the Fever's championship chase as they continue to climb the league standings. In conclusion, Caitlin Clark's dazzling 29-point, 10-assist performance against Dallas was a definitive statement in the ongoing MVP race. By taking over the third quarter, outplaying Paige Bueckers in crunch time, and turning the ball over only once in 34 minutes of action, Clark proved once again that she is the undisputed face and driving force of women's basketball. The Indiana Fever are rolling with momentum. Their locker room is united, and their superstar is playing at the absolute peak of her powers. Moving forward, the rest of the league is on notice. As the postseason approaches, teams know that game planning against Caitlin Clark is an impossible task when she is scoring at all three levels and setting up teammates with pinpoint precision. With Sophie Cunningham providing toughness, Kelsey Mitchell adding scoring punch, and the front court gelling at the right time, Indiana is primed for a deep playoff run. Caitlin Clark's historic season continues to shatter expectations, proving that greatness cannot be contained by media narratives on the hardwood. As the Fever continue their march toward championship contention, Clark's brilliance will continue to lead the way, inspiring millions of fans across the globe. Her generational talent is lifting the entire franchise to unprecedented heights in professional sports, cementing her place among the pantheon of basketball legends. The journey toward a championship is in full swing, and Caitlin Clark is steering the ship with absolute mastery, redefining what is possible in the modern game and setting a benchmark for generations to come.